So when you're coming up and you're seeing the movement that Terror Squad has, right?
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of Latinos really putting the lock on the game. Like, what was that like for you to see that happen?
That was like a push, because when Cuban and Punk came out, they was putting it like a little bit of Spanish and shit, especially Cuban, the dame un beso
Right.
en el cuello, and I was like, oh, these niggas put in Spanish. I know what they're doing. They try to open the Spanish market, and a lot of people didn't see it, but I saw that, because they had the intention to do Spanish rap. Because even Cuba told me one day he was working on a Spanish album. I don't even know if he dropped it or not. But they was like one of my inspirations. Cuba, Pun, and me and my boys from Tres Corona. We would sit down and listen to Terror Squad when we would do tours in Colombia, Spain, and any country. Ecuador, we went. We in Paris, we would play Terror Squad albums like Triple Says. Like we was in the studio with the Triple Says,
Mhm.
and with Cuban. That was the only two.
You know, it's interesting because like Cuba has said that like Joe and Pun used to make fun of him and call him Ricky Martin because he would have the Spanish flavor in it, but like he had the foresight to see like, no, this is like really important. You could cross over by doing this.
Nah. They probably say that shit because he had all the girls going crazy. That nigga Cuba had all the bitches on his dick. They still. That nigga Cuba was the papi chulo of the group. You get me? So
Right,
he was
right.
always singing to the girls, que mami besame en el cuello. Like that's nothing wrong with that. He was the nigga calling the bitch, the pimp of the group.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Pony was more lyrical, like battle rapper,
Yeah.
And then Joe was more like a Joey Crack, like drugs, the cartel shit, cartel shit. But Cuba was always on his commercial mentality. Like if they would have listened to him, they would have probably sell more records because they was too underground.
Did you
They
ever
gotta
did you ever have any conversations about working with Joe?
no, no. Like he worked with us with Chosen Few, but like that was because of Boy Wonder and shit. But it was actually SPK and then like Nori,
Mm-hmm.
because we fuck with Nori and shit. So I think they hook up. Nori hooked it up. Yeah, it was Nori. But we already worked with Cuban. You get me?
Right.
Where I wish I would have worked with Pun though.
Yeah, for sure, man. He is very unfortunate. He passed before like he.
My man Javia has a song with Pun and the Boricua Guerrero
Mhm.
and Cavalucci. Shout out to Cavalucci. They had some shit with Pun, but it was because of the Boricua Guerrero. But we was working with them when they prime time and shit. You know, the time I met Pun, it was when Pun was super Pun. Like nobody could get close to him. He was in the studio every day with my man VIC and shit from the B Nuts.
Right.
And the niggas will always work. He was like I don't know. He's one of my inspirations and shit. When I heard Pun, I was like, oh, el Latino, he made it. I'ma fucking make it too. Fuck it. Even if I do a Spanish though, but I put the English flows and show niggas I'm from New York. You get me? So I'm not only from
And not
Queens.
just that though, but you're very lyrical. So like it makes sense that you would appreciate the type of work that Pun does.
Yeah, that's why I did the song. I did the song with Chris Rivers and his friend Whisper.
What year was that you worked with Chris?
2010.
10? Wow. Okay.
I
So
put out this EP album. It's called Inferno, but it was all more like old songs, new songs, whatever. And I did the Chris Rivers song and one with my man Strip Poke, some Moreno, my blood nigga.
did you guys work on that together in the studio or he just sent the verse?
No, he sent the verse.
Oh, he sent the verse.
Yeah, he
Okay.
sent the verse. Like most of the time, I do it with the artist, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, it don't matter. Like to me, like just working with the person, like yo, then we have to show them what I did too,
Right.
And then He was good. He was a good kid. You know, he looked out and worked with us in a good way. Shout out to Chris too.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Rivers, man.